What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. In this box, I have the synthetic version of one of my favorite boots on the market, and this is the Asics DS Lite Acros 2, which is the updated version of their synthetic model. I'm really excited to see how these fit and feel. As you guys know, I've reviewed now the red version of the DS Lite X-Fly 4, which is one of my favorite leather football boots on the market, behind the Copa Pure Point 1. That and the DS Lite X-Fly 4 are probably my two favorite leather boots. So as far as synthetic models go from the Asics brand, I'm new to this type of shoe, but I'm very excited to see what they feel like on feet. So let's hop into the unboxing of this video. So we've got a very traditional Asics box with the Asics logo here. You turn it over and you've got Asics logos pretty much all over the box. These came from Japan. I got these, full disclosure, on eBay, which was absolutely fantastic. Great experience there from a Japanese dealer who I've worked with a couple times now through eBay. I'll put the link down in the description box below. They are super quick with shipping. So if you are interested in an Asics model from Japan and you want them shipped to the United States, that's the way to go in my opinion. So these are the DS Lite Acros 2 in the men's variation. This is a 27 centimeters, a US 9, UK 8, and a Euro 42.5. These are the white and midnight colorway, which I'm super excited to see what they look like. Again, just Asics logos all over. So we'll get really quick into the unboxing and we'll open it up right here. I actually haven't seen these in person yet. So from the photos, ooh, nice. Very cool colorway, very classic colorway. All right, there you go. So these are the DS Lite Acros. Acros fit here. We'll talk about tech in just a second. These are the synthetic variation of their kind of very traditional top-end football boot. These are meant as sort of an all-around boot that's just going to do everything really, really well. That's something that I found about the X-Fly 4s. They just do everything super well, and I'm really impressed with the Asics brand. For me, it's one of those unsung heroes. The Asics X-Fly 4s, DS Lite X-Fly 4s, were one of my favorite boots of 2022. They really surprised me, and I'm sure and hoping that this synthetic model will do the same as well. So let's get these out of the box and then we'll talk some tech as well. This one, no string bag comes in this box, unfortunately, but that's okay. We'll throw this one down here because it's got a tag, and there you go. So here is the Acros 2, which is the DS Lite Acros 2. Some of these names are super crazy. I'm not actually sure, for those of you who do know why they name their boots and have so many acronyms, I'm not sure. It's a little complicated, but nevertheless, the boots are really high quality, really nice build, so I've had no issues there. It's just a very strange name. Maybe there's some history behind that I don't know, but anyways. Very, very cool boot. It is very lightweight. This is a boot that I think runs a little bit lighter than the X-Fly 4, only just by a margin, just because that does have the more synthetic faux leather midfoot heel area, plus the kangaroo leather upper in the forefoot area, which this is going to be, just because it's synthetic, is going to be a tiny bit lighter weight. Same sole plate though. So that's one of the things that I actually really loved about the X-Fly 4, is this really nice sole plate. So it does a fantastic job of locking your foot into the ground with these almost, how would you say, 3-leaf clover type looking studs. So what I mean by that is the base of the stud is conical, and then the top of the stud, the part that's going to hit the ground first, is this little kind of three-leaf clover looking thing. And what that does is it gives you just an incremental amount of bite when you want to pivot this way. So when you plant your foot and you want to pivot sideways, it gives you a little bit of extra bite into the ground, which is awesome. For whatever reason, this stud pattern, as you can see, hopefully this way, there you go. So the stud pattern here, in my opinion, these conical studs are so perfectly, they're such a perfect length to be not too long so that you can't use them on AG, but not too short so you can't use them on a grass or a firm ground pitch. My X-Fly 4s I've used on basically every type of pitch that I've ever been on, and this sole plate performed very well. Has a great amount of snapback, and it actually lifts you up on your toe just a tiny bit. There's a little couple millimeters of lift in this sole plate. As you can see, these back studs are a little bit longer, and it just does a fantastic job of making you really feel like you can run forever in these football boots. So one of the other things As far as tech goes, that you can see here is that Acros fit. So this is a mesh film upper that's been reinforced with little pieces of mesh coming along the medial side here in areas where you would have the most stress. So when passing the ball here, there's kind of a reinforcement there, a little bit of reinforcement there for where you hit the ball on the knuckle of your big toe, and then some reinforcement here coming from the lacing system all the way down through the midfoot area. And so those are basically what those are supposed to do is reduce the amount of slippage that you have inside the boot going laterally, and then also provide some extra structure to this forefoot and midfoot area for when you are passing and using this upper for what it's meant for, so kicking a football. The other thing on this upper that I think is absolutely fantastic is you have the ability to do the runner's loop. Now, this is the type of situation where you have two lace holes really close to each other, one of which is a lot deeper than traditionally you would think. So what you do is you put this lace through that lace hole, and then it comes over here and goes through the front of this little loop. And I can show you guys the runner's loop in the on-feet portion of the video, but what that does is it really locks both here, this trigger point, and then this trigger point here, and locks this boot onto the top of your ankle, or the bottom of your ankle, I guess, the top of your foot, and really pulls those laces tight to give you the most snug and customized fit possible, which is absolutely fantastic. The other thing that I really love about the Asics boots is their tongue setup. So I'll undo the laces here really quick to show you guys this tongue setup. Now, they've done this in a way that is super fantastic. So if you can see right there, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these lace holes in the tongue area. Now, often when you see a boot like this, whether it's leather or synthetic, you've got just one little piece that you can run the laces through. So usually, say maybe right here, this little crossover piece would be through one of these lace holes, but you'd get so much flex side to side from the tongue because there wasn't a lot of structure. What this does is this allows you to pull the laces tight, and this tongue area stays perfectly straight right in on the top of your foot. There's no sideways movement, and this was on the X-Fly Pro and the X-Fly 4, and they were absolutely fantastic. I never had issues with any slippage in that collar area, which is absolutely fantastic. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about this Asics boot and the way they've constructed this. And I think all brands could just take this if they do have that traditional sender lacing system and a freestanding tongue. Any boot that's like this should have at least 2 or 4, should be even numbers, of these little lace holes so that the tongue doesn't move back and forth. I know I've kind of ranted about this for about a minute now, but it's super important, and it also provides a much better lockdown without you having to fiddle around with the shoes. So that's really, really cool. You've got this absolutely amazing suede heel liner. The build quality of these Asics boots, in my opinion, is fantastic. I talk about Asics boots like a lot of people talk about Mizuno. I think Asics is definitely close to, if not on par with, the Mizuno brand as far as build quality goes. I think the Asics brand does such a fantastic job. They're super underrated, and I really think people should take them more seriously. I love how thin this heel area is right here. For my foot shape, it wraps my heel. This looks the same. Hopefully we'll see on the on-feet portion, but this looks almost identical to, if not identical to, the heel liner and the heel area from the DS Lite X-Fly 4 that I've reviewed, and that one fits my heel so perfectly. It is absolutely fantastic. So that's kind of it for the upper material as far as this boot goes. It's really soft. It's got a bit of a synthetic plasticky feel to it, but I'm not super worried. The inside is a nice suede liner. You can see kind of my fingers coming through that upper a little bit. So it isn't that thick, actually. It's quite a thin upper. It does a really nice job of flexing. We'll see with these reinforcement parts whether or not they are actually able to flex, but the boot does have a pretty significant amount of width to them, per usual with Asics boots. It's going to depend on the shape of your foot, whether this type of boot or more of the leather ones like the X-Fly Pro and the X-Fly 4. But this Acros 2 looks really awesome, and I'm super excited to see how it fits and feels on feet. Again, this is a 9 US. I went true to size just to see what this sizing was like, and I'm really excited to see what the synthetic version of one of my favorite boots feels like on feet. So without further ado, let's hop into the on-feet portion of the video, and we'll talk a little bit about how this boot feels, how it compares to its leather sister or brother, and maybe we'll get both of them on feet just to kind of get a sense of what the differences in shape is like and go through more tech specs if we need to as well. Let's hop into it. All right, fam, here we are out at the field with the Asics DS Lite Acros 2. Very excited to try these on. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Asics football boots. So without further ado, let's just hop straight into it. I am gonna show you what a runner's knot looks like. So there are the boots. They look really nice on the pitch, I think. Just a really, really sweet looking football boot, very simple. So here you go. So that's how it works with the runner's knot. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this and put it through that side, if that makes sense. So we'll get these on, get a first impression of how these boots fit and feel, and then we'll do that runner's knot quick. Again, I'm not wearing grip socks because I do think it gives the most authentic kind of idea of what the boots will feel like without any grip elements. And then of course, if you want to have a little bit of less slippage, then you can always add that later on. Here we go. Oh, very nice. Okay, so definitely, yeah, these are sweet. I don't know what it is about this DS Lite series, but it just fits my foot really well. So there we go. So get those all the way in, and then as you can see, there's these two lace holes here. So we're gonna pull tight, and then I'm gonna cross these over, put them through those lace holes. There you go. And then I'm gonna kind of do this little like that, and it really pulls this area and the area on the other side tight as well. So really special to have that runner's knot there. Super nice. Does fit about a quarter size long. That's something that I noticed straight out of the box from the DS Lite X-Fly 4 as well. The DS Lite X-Fly 4 actually broke in perfectly. These ones, on the other hand, because they're synthetic, I might go half a size down if I'm gonna end up wearing these for training or anything. That's something that I do wanna make sure that I keep in mind as well. But we'll get this other one on and just talk about how they fit and feel. So far, my left shoe fits really nicely. And we'll get these, hopefully. I know batteries on my camera are also running out a bit. It's been a very long day of filming as well after training, which is fantastic. So hopefully undo these. There we go. All right, thanks for your patience, guys. I appreciate it. Oh, get these on. There you go. So really nice fit. Again, it does fit a little bit long in the toe area. That's one thing that I was a little bit worried, given that these are synthetic and the X-Fly 4s are leather. The leather is going to break in a little bit more than the synthetic will. So again, pull these tight, and you've got that second lace hole that I've made kind of little bunny ears with, and then I cross these laces over from underneath, pull through on both sides, and kind of wiggle back, forward, until it gets really tight. And then there we go. So then we tie it really tight. Boom. There you go. All right. So there is the Acros 2 on feet. Really nice looking football boots, and they are super comfortable out of the box. This little reinforcement structure here on the lateral side does a really nice job of locking your foot down into the boot without having too much too much structure. So I still have plenty of room on the width of my foot for especially that area on my foot that's really wide. So that gives you kind of a good idea of what the boots look like. All right, so there is what the boots look like on feet with a yellow ball. They are super comfortable out of the box, very springy. As I mentioned before, this is the same sole plate that's on the X-Fly 4, and I love it. I think it's so comfortable. You get a little bit of arch support through the midfoot with the insole that's in here, as well as the little heel lift. So it gives you this really nice sensation of feeling like you're up on your toes. Touch on the ball on the synthetic version is, if I can control the ball in this wind, very, very nice. It's definitely not as premium, not as plush feeling as the leather, but it does have a really nice kind of simple touch on the ball. There's a tiny bit of texture to the upper, so that does give you a little bit of playing around with, spinning a ball, and maybe texture that will help you in wet conditions as well. And this Acros Fit upper actually does a really nice job of wrapping your foot without
overstretching in any part of the foot, and I think these are really nice football boots. I definitely think I prefer the leather version, so the X-Fly 4 between this one and the leather, but these are really good. As I said, really keeps you up on your toes. You got nice amount of lateral stability, and the heel liner is sensational. I love the Asics Suede liner. I think they're fantastic. They're gonna fit majority of foot types. I think these are actually really accommodating for most people, especially when you get that runner's knot in there. It does a really nice job of wrapping your foot, making sure that you're not slipping in there, and there's really quite a bit of room in that toe box area. Even though it does look a little bit pointy, I think it's gonna fit most people. As you can see, I'm wiggling my toes now. You can see my toes are easily able to kind of wiggle in what seems like a very structured upper, even though it does have quite a bit of structure, but also quite a bit of flex as well. So definitely nice on the ball. The sole plate is super neutral, as I mentioned in the unboxing. So you're gonna get good amount of pivot power and lock in when you do pivot without it being dangerous for AG pitches like this or in firm ground areas as well. So I'm a huge fan of these. I think this, having both the synthetic and the leather version of a boot kind of on the same last, if you will, is a really great option for a lot of people, especially those who are in the Asian market and in the European market. I know that's where Asics sells a lot of their football boots, and I would definitely recommend, if you are looking for something that's a little bit different and a little bit kind of off the beaten track, if you will, that's not one of the main brands, would definitely recommend one of the Asics boots because they are so comfortable and the build quality is fantastic and they really do feel nice. I am considering going half a size down just because, if you can see here on the toe area, there is about a half a thumb's width right on the end of that toe. So maybe going with an 8.5 US would be good. I think I have enough room here in this toe box area that I would be able to go half a size down. So maybe I will think about doing that for a long-term tester, especially in this synthetic model. But I do think that this really does a nice job of wrapping your foot. So regardless of whether you go true to size or half a size down, I think you're gonna enjoy the boot because it does lock your foot in regardless of whether you have a tiny bit of space on the end of your toe or not. So for me, this is a definite try if you can. I always tell people, go to eBay. That's where I find my Asics boots. I will leave the link down in the description. I'm gonna totally butcher and mispronounce the name of the place that I actually get these from, the dealer that I get these from on eBay, but I'll put them down in the description box below. They're fantastic to deal with, quick shipping, and they've got all the top end Asics models, which is fantastic, and some of the lower end ones as well. So, and they've been nothing but super generous and kind to me. So that's been amazing. So I'll put them in the description box below. Go check them out on eBay, especially for you guys who are in the US who are looking for an Asics boot. Definitely go check them out. They've usually stock all the sizes, and they have leather and synthetic version, both the Acros 2 plus the DS Lite X-Fly 4, DS Lite X-Fly Pro, Acros Pro, etc., etc. So definitely go check that out. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know down in the comments what video you guys want to see next. If you want a little bit less common boots, let me know and we'll go from there. As always, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.